Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Klausman here, back with another video. Hey, today, so I'm gonna be going over something I promised in my last video, which is gonna be my top 5 best damage sets for the front bar. All right, so some of these are, well, actually all these are pretty meta, right? Huge damage sets. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so at number 5, some of you might be a little surprised to see this low, but I have Oak Fathers. Oak Fathers is number 5 for me. It's a pretty good set though, like very strong. The second piece gives you 129 weapon and spell damage. The third piece gives you the same thing. Fourth piece gives you the same thing. That's actually a great 2 through 4 piece. Oak Fathers is a light armor set that you get from Cyrodiil. You used to get it in Rewards of the Worthy. Now you have to buy it at the Elite vendor, which is fine. Still pretty easy to gain a little bit of alliance points and get this. Alright, so for the 5th piece, gain 449 offensive penetration against enemies with a major buff active, and 20 weapon and spell damage against enemies for a minor buff active. So against certain players, this is going to be extremely strong, right? Especially ball groups where they're going to be sharing buffs back and forth between each other. This is going to be a really good front bar set. The problem lies when you're not going up against like comp teams and stuff. You're not going to have the full damage potential this set could have. And also, this is a set that's bugged on the stat sheet. The stats that it shows you on the stat sheet is not representative of what you're actually getting, and so that's very annoying as well. I hate sets that are bugged, especially visually, something that in my opinion should be pretty easy to fix. Alright, so now that we know that it's bugged, exactly what is it giving to you? Well, it says it right there, but just kind of in layman's terms, if you're fighting someone with 10 major buffs on them, you're getting 490 penetration against them, and you're getting about 200 weapon and spell damage if they got 10 minor buffs. You're not going to normally get too much higher than that. It's a really good set for bombing and ganking, in my opinion, to have on the front bar, but I don't know. I've kind of strayed away from Oak Fathers throughout the last couple years, but it is still, a really strong set. Now, where you will notice like a good amount of the strength of this set is anytime you're fighting someone on a 1-bar build. Anytime they're on a 1-bar build, they're gonna have like a lot of buffs up at all times. Also, people running tri-stat potions, that's 3 extra, major buffs that's applied to them. So you got kind of like variables of times where it's gonna be stronger than others. The unreliability of the set is why I don't like it. You're not always going to fight people with all their buffs up. In fact, a lot of times people don't have their buffs up, especially if you're instigating the fight and catching them off guard. So for that reason and the lack of versatility of it, I have it at number 5. All right, so number 4, we have Draugrkin's Grip. Draugrkin is a really strong set for very niche builds, okay? So let's start with the second piece, 1096 max magic. Third piece is giving you 1487 penetration, and the fourth piece is giving you 129 magic recovery. All right, so like the 2 through 4 piece is kind of like a mixed bag of emotions, right? I mean, it's giving you extra magic. Well, it's not really super popular to stack max magic in this patch. The penetration buff is nice. The magic recovery is good in certain situations, but I would probably prefer the penetration to be at 4 and the magic recovery to be at 3, so it's double barred. But hey, whatever is off. Either way. All right. So now the 5th piece: increase your damage done by 330, but reduce your healing received by 10%. So this is why this set should only be ran on your front bar, okay? A 10% nerf to healing on both bars is insane, right? I mean, that's a huge nerf to your healing on your back bar, and you absolutely need to be able to survive if you're fighting outnumbered, all right? Now, to the damage portion of this, 330. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a flat number, and it does get buffed by any multipliers that you have. And also, that's to everything. That's to your light attacks. That's to your dots. And not just your dots, that's to every single tick of your dot. That increases the strength of your poisons if you're running double dot poisons. There are a handful of dot builds out there, still left, still playing hard in this patch, and they hit very hard because of Draugrkin, or because of another set that's very close to Draugrkin that I will mention in a later video. Alright, so this set right here, it's not as versatile as other sets, and that's why I'm only putting it at number 4. But it is a extremely oppressive set in the right situation with the right build and the right player. Alright, and so that brings us to number 1C. Yeah, you heard that correctly, number 1C. I think all 3 of the last sets are near equal strength and are separated only by really how you use them as a player. Alright, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of mechanical acuity. The second piece gives you 1096 stam. Third piece gives you 1096 mag. Not the best, right? Not the worst, but not the best either. Fourth piece gives you 129 weapon and spell damage. Let this be noted, this is a craftable set, so it's pretty easy to obtain, right? Alright, so the fifth piece, when you deal non-critical damage, you gain a stack of mechanical acuity for 4 seconds, granting you 20% crit chance per stack, up to once every 1 second, and stacking up to 5 times. So essentially this will give you 100% crit chance at a certain point. And man, if you know how to use this set, boy, you will kill people fast. All right, you're going to use the Warden as your base subclass. You're going to run Clever Alchemist on your back bar. You're going to kite around. You're going to have a Northern Storm or a Destruction Staff ultimate built up. You're going to drop the charm, you're going to turn, and you're going to burn a lot of people. Okay, you do not stack crit chance on this build, you stack crit damage. Your race is going to be a Khajiit. You're going to run the Monolith Mythic, and you, bro, when I say you will kill people, you will annihilate almost anyone that you run into. Why is it third for me out of these 3 sets? Well, that's pretty simple. Not everyone's going to use mechanical acuity correctly. All right, they're going to go on their front bar. They're going to proc it when they don't need to. They're going to, same thing with Clever Alchemist. A lot of players are going to pop their potion before they're ready for a burst window. And when they're trying to kill people, they're never going to have the buff up. It's not a new player friendly set, but it is a really strong set in the right hands, okay? And the fact that it is harder to play with is why it's 3 for me instead of 1. And like in experienced players' hands, it's probably number 1 for me in most situations. All right, number 1B is going to be one of the older sets that most people still play with today, and that's Essence Thief. Essence Thief has aged like fine wine, bro. I mean, even the 2 and 3 piece, which is max stam, it doesn't really affect anything, bro. I mean, most people still love this set. Now, before I get ahead of myself, this is a medium armor set that you have to farm from the White Gold Tower, you know, so not really hard to obtain in my opinion. The 4th piece is 129 weapon and spell damage. All right, so the 5th piece, dealing damage with a light or heavy attack, draws essence from the enemy, then pools near them for 5 seconds. Drawing the pool heals you for 4,356 and restores 4,356 stamina. That's huge. That's a lot of resource management. I mean, it's almost worth running a set like this just for that. Not really. I mean, you can run other sets, but it's a great bonus to have. And then increase your damage done by 10% for 10 seconds. This pool can be created once every 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, you're going to have like essentially like 400 stam recovery and 400 health. That's the equivalent of it. But you get it in a burst. So like it's almost like hitting a tri-stat potion for a magic character. I mean, you're just getting so much resource back Most people, you know, it's also an extremely versatile set. This set can be front barred, this set can be back barred, and you activate it by heavy attacking with the ice staff, and then you're going to put Ellie Sus on an enemy, right? So out of all these sets, it's also, in my opinion, the most versatile and very accessible. It's super fun to play with. You know, it's like a little mini game collecting the ball, and you slap very hard. All right, it's not the super easiest set to play with, but at the end of the day, it's very effective and very strong. And for me, it's probably out of these sets my favorite set to run. All right, so on to number 1A, we have No Arca. No Arca is probably the easiest of these sets to use, but it's also at the same time it's definitely the hardest to obtain. Okay, so personally, I would run the Perfected if you can get it. I mean, the regular is fine, but I just, you know, I like running the Perfected if I can get stuff. All right, so the second piece is going to give you 657 crit chance. The third piece is going to give you Minor Slayer at all times, so like not important. The fourth piece is going to give you 657 crit chance as well. So, and that's why I like the Perfected, because of that third piece. It's kind of wasted for PvP, but you can add in that 129 weapon and spell damage with the Perfected. Alright, so now the proc itself, dealing crit damage gives you a stack of silver for 10 seconds, up to once every 0.5 seconds. Upon attaining your third stack, they merge into a crystal that launches at the last enemy you damaged. Now this proc hurts a lot. it's similar enough to a spec bow, bro. So on the right build, you can like use the Adric spear to stun someone, spec bow, no Arca procs, and it is GG's night over, bro. It hurts a lot. So I mean, it's definitely one of those sets that you can pair with pretty much anything on your back bar and just have a lot of weapon and spell damage, good penetration, and good high crit damage, and you're gonna annihilate people. The cooldown itself really isn't too much to worry about. It's only like 4 seconds after you shoot the crystal, but keep in mind, like, you gain stacks every like half second. So if you have a dot on someone and you're applying a decent amount of pressure, you're gonna use this proc about every 6 seconds. So about the same amount of time that you're gonna be using this spec bow. And that's really what makes it as strong as it is. It's the fact that it comes pretty quick, and it's like the second strongest proc set in the game for like free. Like all you gotta do is do some crit damage to proc it. It hurts a lot, and you're gonna have an uptime on this 6, 7, maybe 8 seconds at the worst. I mean, if you're applying pressure, you're gonna have this up pretty much the entire time you're fighting someone, and it's like a huge burst. So it's gonna get you a lot of kills just on accident sometimes. So, you know, these are the sets that in my opinion, in this patch are the best damage sets for the front bar. I've tried all these sets out at some point in time or another. You know, some of these sets are definitely going to be easier to obtain. Some of them are going to be easier to use. And no Arca, the fact that it is as easy to use as it is why it's number 1 for me. And it provides so much damage, bro, especially for free. The hardest thing about this set is obtaining it. After you attain it, it's a great set, and I suggest it on pretty much any build that looks to apply extra burst for finishing targets. All right, so that's gonna be the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor, if you like this kind of content, please give me a subscribe, please share the video, and click the bell notification icon so when I post another video, you guys can see it. I plan on doing a monster set video next, my top 5 monster sets for PvP, open world, and then probably after that, I'll do some mythics as well. All right, so if you guys have any build suggestions that you want me to make, or if you guys have any video suggestions, please leave it in the comment section below. And until next time, it's your boy Klaus, man. Out.